You guys are getting a great education, but I would say we don't measure our success here by the trophy case. A lot of it, I think we measure our success by what you get out of the combination of the program and your studies. It truly is education through athletics. And we're not trying to grow and mold AVP stars here, although Cody may beg to differ, and we'll see. I sure hope so, it'd be great. But we're focused on producing well-rounded people who are going to make great wives, husbands, mothers, fathers, great teachers, lawyers, doctors, civil servants, academics, potentially even the odd consultant. Let me know if you're interested. But ultimately, the goal is to help build in you the ability to go change the world in the way that you want to go change the world. And each of you will do that in some way, and I hope this really prepares you for that. So I really want to now spend maybe some time on 3 things that I took out of my experience at Princeton with Princeton Volleyball, and just talk to you a little bit about that in the hopes that maybe that helps you think about what you want to get out of Princeton, or helps you think about other things that you might try to get out if it's not those 3 things. So first, I just want to talk about teaming and teaming with other people. So one of the most important things I learned about was what it means to be a good teammate. And so there are the simple things like overlooking the fact that the setter just gave me that low inside trap set that just got me roofed, or somebody stealing my seat on the van, or the shanked overpass that caused me to get six-packed. We've all been there, right? You got to turn around and clap and cheer even though somebody just screwed up and got you hit, but that's okay. But it was also just understanding how to pick each other up and support each other no matter what was happening, and bring together that range of personalities and diverse set of people to come together as a team to perform. When was it time for you to lead? When was it time for you to follow? That dynamic and that experience is powerful in terms of learning how to be a team member, how to be a good teammate, and what does that mean? How do you cheer your teammates on? How do you challenge them? How do you push them at the right times? How do you make sure to listen when somebody has something to say? So it is a shop-worn metaphor to talk about sports as teaching lessons in life, but I think it is actually quite valid. I personally feel like the teaming lessons I learned and the way I learned to be a teammate at Princeton have made a difference for me, whether it's coaching and helping my teams, whether it's trying to give advice to the grizzled CEO who has 20 years more business experience than I do. All of those things come at some point from learning how to work with other people and work as a team. You don't get to do that as much in your studies, maybe with your lab partner occasionally, but apart from that, a lot of it's solitary. And so most of the time you spend out in the world, you're working with a team, whether it's in your family or outside. So this is a great place to learn those things. And I feel like the skills I learned at Princeton have been critical to my success since then. The second thing that I want to talk about is about drive. And what I learned at Princeton was what it took to be successful on the court and off it. So I was always very competitive. Kelly probably saw me play. She probably remembers I used to sort of work myself with quite a lather when we were playing. I wanted to win a lot. But I had other teammates who were also competitive, the kind of guys who, they would rant and rave if they made a mistake, they'd kick balls around the court. And on the national team, I saw that in spades. There were guys there who could rant and rave with the best of them and demonstrate their competitiveness. But to me, that's not true competitiveness. To me, that comes from drive. It comes from the inner drive that you have. And what do I mean by that? I mean having the courage to set an aggressive goal, one that's going to require something really special from you. One of my favorite sayings is, you don't know how tall you are until you're in over your head. You've got to be reaching for something that is really extraordinary to challenge yourself and push yourself. It's that kind of goal that you need to set. But beyond just setting the goal, it's then having the discipline to define a path that takes you to that goal. What is it going to take to get there? And given the goal that you've just set, it's probably going to be something extraordinary. It's going to be an extraordinary effort from you to try to achieve that. It's going to take a lot. And then finally, it requires the commitment and intensity to follow that path without giving up. Putting in the work outside the direct competition to make a difference in your game, whether that's weight training or jump training or watching video or focusing intently on a skill in practice and making sure you're getting better, listening to the coaching, asking for help, whatever it takes, just being very focused, intently focused on getting the work done. And I finally came to understand the kind of drive it would take to be successful and not just compete in the moment, in that moment. Because in that moment, you're just playing the game. But if you're truly competing, it's about the drive to make yourself successful when that moment comes. And so I learned that with hard work and dedication, a gangly teenager from a random small town in upstate New York could add 8 inches to his vertical jump and eventually make the national team. But what I really learned about that gangly 18-year-old was that I could tell myself as a freshman that I was going to make the US team. And I could decide I needed to be a much better athlete to do that. And that I could then lift weights and do jump workouts till 7:20 p.m. every night because the dining hall closed at 7:30. So every day after football or volleyball practice, I'd be working out until the last moment, and then I would run to the dining hall and get there at 7:28 and get my food. And so whether you call it drive or tenacity or persistence or whatever you want to call it, find that in you, tap into that and find it and figure out what are those goals that you want to set. And so lastly, I want to talk about developing confidence. And you can develop confidence in doing anything just by repeating it. But I think there's another level of confidence that you get through athletic competition, and that really comes through to me in volleyball. So what compares with standing there with your teammates, down 15-14 in the 5th set, coming out of a timeout, knowing that I've got to make a play here, and having the confidence to fire up the jump serve, or having the confidence to say, I want him to serve me the ball, or I want the set because I want to put it away, or I'm going to make this play, I'm going to make this dig, whatever it is, having the confidence to know that you can do it in that setting. And then if you don't, having confidence the next match that you play that I'm going to do it. And when you develop confidence in that kind of a pressure-packed environment, I feel like you're going to be able to carry forward. They're not life or death situations, grant you, but you build that confidence in performing under pressure so that it's much easier to handle the pressures of everyday life and that your job might have or that being a parent might bring at you. So I would just encourage you to think about building up your confidence so that you can start taking risks. You know, Princeton volleyball definitely gave me the confidence to go play on the national team. I was disappointed to be an alternate and not to make the team, as Sam talked about. But my proudest moment wasn't actually making the national team. My proudest moment was walking away from the team at the pinnacle of my career. I never had played better in my life. I knew I could play on the Atlanta team. I knew I was going to be a leader on that team. But I didn't want to spend 4 more years of my life playing volleyball. I had other things in store, and I had the confidence to know that there were better things in store for me beyond just playing volleyball. And so I retired. And I've played and I've done, but I've never been the player I was back then.
Camp staff match were pretty good.
But that confidence came out of Princeton volleyball. It was the confidence to both play at that level, but also to walk away from that level. So let me close with a story that gives you some insight as to why I'm here tonight. And it's really about my loyalty to Princeton. So right after I graduated, I was lucky enough to be picked to play for the US Olympic Festival, which is a now defunct mini Olympic Games that the USOC used to run in the US with basically college-age athletes competing from around the country. And my team made the gold medal match, and we're playing at Loyola Marymount in LA in front of about 10,000 people. Every time a player went back to serve, they would announce his name and his school. Eric Sullivan, UCLA, or Dwayne Cameron, Pepperdine, or whatever. Every time I went back to serve, he simply said, Marin Gjaja. So he got my name right. He wasn't a telemarketer, right? He could pronounce my name. But let's just say it bothered me a little. So the match goes 5 sets, full 3-hour match, old school scoring, and we win. I was serving a lot over the course of that match. I went back and served a lot. I heard my name a lot, but just my name. So we finished the match, we win. I ended up with 56 kills. I hit 600 for the match. I celebrate for about 30 seconds, and then I make a beeline to the announcer's table, and I say, it's Marin Gjaja, Princeton University. So during the medal ceremony, I get up on the podium as the captain of the gold medal team. They put the gold medal around my neck, and the announcer says, Marin Gjaja, Princeton University. So don't forget where you're from. I hope you all become fiercely loyal alums. I hope you develop lasting, meaningful bonds with your teammates. I hope you tap into that drive that I talked about that's in each one of you. It is in each one of you. And I hope that you build the kind of confidence that I gained from Princeton volleyball to do whatever it is that you want to do in life. Thanks.
So for those who don't follow volleyball, 56 kills and 600 is, I mean, the room all follow volleyball, but still, it's pretty unbelievable. We had a couple of folks, I think, walk in that we didn't get a chance to thank. Rob Pringle is here. I'm going to stand up, one of our faculty fellows. And that's pretty much it for this half. We're going to adjourn. There's some housekeeping things. If you didn't get, oh, Officer Ziggy's in the back. Officer Ziggy. If you didn't get your t-shirt, you can, student athletes, you girls, you got yours, guys, you're getting yours, so don't worry about it. But if you're a guest or an alum or a parent or anything like that, we have volleyball shirts for you. We also have football tickets if you want to go to the game tonight. Please come over and get one. Otherwise, we're going to start with dinner. We'd like non-student athletes to go first to make sure there's food left over. So please, if you're not a student athlete, go get your food and then we'll unleash the teams. Thank you.